me to the Arctic tundra. I have not seen snow in about a year and a half, so this is a really interesting transition for me. As Shyla said, I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I am super excited to be here in Thunder Bay. This is a very cute little town, and I'm loving it. One of the reasons I actually wanted to be a part of this amazing group right here and be a part of One Woman is because I have myself volunteered in India, Kenya. I lived in Guatemala as part of my childhood. So I feel a really big tie to help these communities that really could use support. So thank you all for having me, and thank you for your time. My presentation is very much geared towards the businesswoman, but I want you to think about it more as a conversation of your personal brand and your conversation about kind of developing a holistic sense of your brand, your business, and everything that encompasses it. So my topic today is web design to convey your purpose, power, and passion. And if you look on your table, you have sheets from me. And they just have little kind of fill in the blanks. And if I missed any tables, I'm so sorry, and I'll get one to you in a bit. But I think some tables might have extra. So the reason that I love my job is because I get to help people figure out their purpose, their power, their passion, and convey it to the world. So one of the first things that a person sees about you is what you put out to them. So whether it's your social media presence, your website, or the way you shake their hand, everything matters and everything is a part of your personal brand. So today I'm going to be touching specifically on web design and your personal brand, but this includes everything that also comes with branding. So the first thing I want to talk about is brand authenticity. So this is me. I look cute there. It's pretty fun to look like that. I'm never going to look like that again. That's not going to happen. But this is also me. I am a total glasses geek. I spend most of my day behind a computer screen, and I love mountains, puppies, and all that. So when you're thinking about developing a brand and when you're thinking about everything that goes into your brand, you want to take into account both sides of you. So I have the side of me that looks like this, and then I have the side of me that looks like this. So what I really wanted to do was marry the two in a way that felt very authentic and true to who I am. And the way I did that was through branding that was very all-encompassing. So using my purpose, my power, and my passion to develop a strong brand. And I'll talk about how to do that. So the very first question is, who are you? Why should I care? These types of questions are kind of the first thing that you're going to stumble upon when you start a business. You want to think about what you're doing and how it relates to who you are and why other people are going to take the time and have any interest in it whatsoever. And even if you are not in a position where you own your own business, this is important to think about. Who are you as a personal brand? What you wear, what you do your hair like, how you shake someone's hand. It's all part of your personal brand and your personal presentation. So the first thing I want to talk about is your purpose. So your purpose is why you got into what you do. Why do you choose to do what you do every day? And for some people, this is helping people create a stable financial future. For some people, this is bringing beauty into the world. For some people, it is bringing joy to others. So when you think about your purpose, answer those core questions. And so your first box on your sheet that I gave you asks you to fill in your purpose. So take some time to think about why you do what you do and why you believe that it's the right path for you. The second thing I want to talk about is passion. This is my favorite one. And also, I should have prefaced this by saying that I kept these slides very minimal because I really believe in the power of connection and also staying present in the moment. So I'd rather you not look at that if you don't have to and just focus on the words, focus on kind of the feelings that are associated with it. So passion is my favorite piece of this because it's really about why I should care about your brand, why other people should care about your brand, and also what you're doing to make sure that other people know about it. So are you passionate about your brand because you get to spend time helping people? Are you passionate about your brand because it allows you to be a great extrovert? For me, that's one of the reasons I love my job, because I get to chat with people every day, and it's the best part of my job. But your passion is really what makes people drawn to you. This is kind of your key to success and your key to figuring out what your user experience needs to be. So power is the one that I think is really fun to talk about because it's different for everyone. Power is how you're putting yourself out into the universe and how other people are finding you. So why is someone going to choose you over the 40,000 other people in this country that can do exactly what you do? Why are other people choosing you to be their friend? Why are other people choosing you to be part of their lives as opposed to many other people who could be? This is a really powerful thing to think about when you're thinking about your brand and thinking about how you want to come across to your clients, your customers, the people that you associate with. So I think this is a really nice one to think about. So on the paper in front of you, you have sections for purpose, power, and passion. And don't worry about filling them in right now. I know they likely take a lot of thought. But think about how those relate to your business, how those relate to you as a person, and how you can marry those to really create a really positive version of yourself. So this part is more related to the web design piece and creating a positive user experience. So the beauty of web design is that there's no real right or wrong way. There's no way to say, well, this 100% works, this 100% doesn't. It's more about creating a user experience that allows people to connect with you and allows people to also experience your purpose, power, and passion. So, because I cannot read that far, I have them here so I can read them to you. So, here are some key questions that you want to think about before you can even start building a functional and great website. What is the purpose of your site? Who is your site intended for? Why will someone pick you from looking at your website for 10 seconds? While still remaining professional, what does your most authentic self look like? Are you conveying your passion and encouraging others to learn about it? If you take a look at the sheet in front of you, a lot of these questions will be answered within those first 3 boxes. But, of course, you want to make sure that you're answering all of them, because without very clear definitions of who your site is for, why it matters, and without giving someone information on why they should pick you within 10 seconds of looking at your site, they're gone. They're out. They don't care anymore. So, showing off and standing out is kind of the goal of every business. Of course, you want to seem different. You want to seem unique. But with a website, there's only so many ways that you've seen it done in the past. So when you think about your website, think about making it something that is really true to yourself, and think about making it something that is relatable to others. And so some of the key ways that I think help with this are brand integrity. So making sure that everything is consistent across your brand. So is your logo font the same font as the one that you're using on your website? Are the colors the same? If your site is using over 4 primary colors, take a look at narrowing it down and making it more consistent throughout all platforms. The second one that I think is super important is talking to people. Without talking to people, you really don't know what your users want. You don't know how to make your site user-centric if people aren't telling you what they're looking for. So if you're in an industry where maybe people are looking for prices, then have those displayed. But if you're not, then think about doing it a different way where you have people request for appointments, stuff like that. One of my favorite premises is serve and then sell. So people want to see tremendous value before they buy something from you or before they engage with you. And that goes whether you're engaging with someone as a friend, and that goes whether you're engaging with someone as a business. So think about serving them positive information first. So giving them value and a reason why they should pick you before they actually do. So if you're meeting someone for the first time and you are talking about yourself the whole time, probably not a great way to serve because you're not providing them with any value. Instead, think about offering them the opportunity to talk about themselves. So with a website, provide them with some sort of information that they really can't find somewhere else. So whether that's giving them your philosophy on things and kind of offering them a new way to look at things, or whether it is offering them a forum to talk about things openly. These are both positive ways to really integrate people and serve and then sell. Once you get the serving done, then you can sell. So the platform and settings, this is my very fired up one that I like to talk about because there's always a million questions about it. So when you're building a website, and I'm sorry to those of you that don't have a website that you can build, but bear with me for a second. So when you are building a website, there are 1,000 different platforms to choose from. There's Squarespace, there's Wix, there's Weebly, there's WordPress, all of those. So when you're thinking about which one to choose, take into account your user experience. How do you want your users to be engaging with your site? If your site is bare bones and you don't really need it to be anything flashy, maybe something like Squarespace is the right platform for you. But if you really want to stand out as unique and different and kind of unique from your competitors, then you want something that is going to reflect that. So your dreams and your goals and your purpose, passion, and power cannot fit into a template. It can't happen. You can try, but it just doesn't fit well because ultimately there's going to be nothing that is templated that is as unique as you are. The next is testing. So when you are engaging with anyone in any sort of capacity, you want to make sure to test what you're doing. So ask for feedback, ask for some sort of affirmation that you're doing things well, or ask for some sort of critique on things that you could do better. So one of the best ways to do this is to look at analytics, or if you're developing your personal brand and trying to figure out how you want to convey yourself to the world, ask for feedback from your friends. Say, what are my strong suits? What do I need to be doing more of in my life? Instead of, thinking about, okay, well, this is how I've always behaved, or this is how websites have always worked, so this is what I'm going to do. One of my favorite tools, and this is me being a little bit of a geek here, but it's actually a screen reader that can look at the actions on everyone's site. So you can see where people are hovering, you can see what things people are clicking on that maybe aren't clickable. So when you test things over and over and over, you can really start to nail down those things that maybe you wouldn't have seen. And if you ask people for feedback, chances are they'll see 50 things that you never did. And that's a really fun part of the design process for me as a designer, and also for the people I work with, because they really get to see how their goals change as their users get more comfortable with their sites, or how their user base changes as soon as they redo their website, all those things. And then my final piece of advice there is be creative. You are your best advocate. There's no one who knows you, your personal brand, or your business better than you do. If you think that something is going to work for you, stand up for it. Be creative. Think out of the box. It doesn't necessarily mean that every intuition is going to be right, but that's why we test it. If you have an intuition, and if you think something is going to work for your site, believe in it and follow that. That is your passion. So now, also me looking cute. Some questions to make sure that your web designer is someone you can trust with your brand integrity. Super important. So, what platform do they design on? This is something that we touched on earlier, making sure that they can code a site that is as unique as you are. How do they make sure the aesthetics of your site look and feel like you? You want to make sure that a site is as unique as you are. Like I said a million times, and I'm going to continue to say a million more times because I think it's really important here. They should be offering you some sort of branding questionnaire, deep analysis into your creativity. If they are saying, okay, well, you answered these 4 questions for me, so I'm good. I'm going to go run off and do something. That is not the person you want to trust with the integrity of your brand. You want someone who wants your website to be as unique as you. What kind of licensing do they offer after they're finished? So this is one that a lot of people often forget and then get suckered into. So intellectual property is something that's very, very debated in the tech community. For me, when I code a site, if someone has paid for it, it is theirs after. But for a lot of people, they get trapped into contracts. And so it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. If you want someone to be managing your site, do that. But make sure you know what you're getting yourself into before you sign on to anything. And then turnaround time. Typically, a normal site, if it is a business site with under 10 or 15 pages, shouldn't take more than a month. And you want someone who's going to be 100% invested in your brand and in your project at that time. So make sure you're thinking about that really wisely and paying attention to what your timeline is, how unique you want your site to be, and what their turnaround time is. So the last thing I really want to talk about is planting your metaphorical seed. So in branding, my business has this concept of a plant, and that goes along with our business name, Blooming Pixel Creatives. But the thing that is really important to us is that your website doesn't stand alone. Everything you do doesn't stand alone. There's balance in everything you do. So you can't really see it up there, and I'm sorry, I probably should have made that graphic a little bit bigger. But up in the top right corner, you can see it says web design is your sunlight, content is your water, and branding is your soil. If you have water and soil, but no sunlight, you're going to end up with a really, really malnourished plant, and it's going to be in the dark. Your audience is going to be wondering where the light is. They're not going to understand what you do. If you have a site or your personal brand where you have a great website and great content, but no brand consistency, that's going to also serve you very poorly, because there's going to be nowhere for your plant its roots. There's going to be nowhere for you to come back to time after time and say, this is who we are, these are our values, this is what we believe in. And then finally, if you have content and branding, but no website, you have no light. You have nowhere where people are going to be able to say, oh, I saw these people here, or I learned about your website, your philosophy, whatever it is, from this place. And like I said, this part is a little more geared at business, but think about it in terms of your personal brand too. If you're just having all of your energy dedicated to one small sphere, you're not looking at the whole picture of yourself, and you're not looking at the whole picture of being your best possible self. So, like I said, I'm a bit of a geek, and I have two kind of philosophies that come into play when it comes to web design, personal brand, business brand, whatever it is. The first one is that your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you are putting positive energy out there, expect positive energy back. Keep working hard to get the best version of yourself, and that is how you'll find your tribe. The second little saying I have is, how you do anything is how you do everything. You want the first thing that people see about you to be polished, professional, precise, and filled with a lot of purpose, passion, and power. And that is how you will really succeed, because ultimately, how you do anything is how you do everything. So that is all I have, and I'm sorry if that was techy and boring, but hopefully you took away something good out of it. And sorry, if you'd like to pick my brain, find out more, I will be hanging out all day, of course. And also, if anyone has any suggestions of what I should do in Thunder Bay, feel free to come talk to me. And thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you all.